I spoke with Sheridan Media Group founder Kevin Sheridan about the address. He's also former communications director for the Republican vice president candidate, Paul Ryan. He shared his reaction.
I thought the president did what he needed to do for himself. I don't know that he moved the ball forward for the country, but he certainly laid a marker down on what his priorities are. His priorities are going to be middle class, so he says, tax reform, whether or not he can actually bring members of Congress, which has been his problem for the last 6 years, over to his thinking on any policy remains to be seen. Now, he's clearly serious about a couple of things. Whether or not he can actually forge the relationships that he has neglected for 6 years and turn that into real policy is going to be the question.
But as I read between the
lines,
lines, what's likely to pass in all the different proposals that the president has laid out?
I think if you listen to serious people like Paul Ryan, Chairman Ryan, and other members of the House and Senate Republicans who want to get something done, they've finally gotten to the positions that they want to be in, where they can really have a meaningful impact on the next year. They want tax reform. They want business tax reform. If the president is serious about business tax reform and tax reform in general, he could get a deal. If he wants a trade promotion authority, he could get that done.
And then you think about trade. Specifically, it's something that the GOP seems to be on board. Obama seems to be on board. But at the same time, might they tie the trade deals potentially with something domestic, for example, the Keystone Pipeline?
I think they could. I think the Keystone Pipeline has become a serious wedge issue for Democrats. It's a really tough issue for them to get on board with us. It is not as controversial, I don't think. If you look at any of the science, if you listen to any of the economics on it, it's good policy, it's good public policy. But whether or not a deal, some horse trading can be done on TPA and other things, we'll have to see.
On the economy, the president essentially took credit for the jobs being created over the past 6 years. Granted, he had a tough start. It was a tough situation when he took on board, but he's taken credit. And a lot of Republicans are reluctant to give him any credit. So you're a Republican. I'm going to ask you, do you give Obama credit for the economic rebound?
I'll say in general, presidents get too much credit and too much blame for the economy and for the jobs that are created or not created. That said, he did start from a very bad place, obviously. We were in the Great Recession when he started. He's done some things that probably slowed that down. The economy has come back. There's no way around that. You can see that we are in a much better place. We're growing in a much better way compared to the rest of the world. We are in good shape and a place where investment is still coming in. He could be doing... Republicans have long argued that the president has kind of tamped down that comeback, and so it's been slower than it should have been. But he can take credit for it because every president always does, and every president gets all the blame when it's bad.
His comment of how the United States has turned the economic corner, so to speak, do you think that's true?
That's tough. I mean, there are many markers that the economy is doing much better. The stock market is doing well. There are jobs are being created. There are too many people who have dropped out of the workforce that simply quit looking for work, that are underemployed. I think there is serious pressure on the middle class and the lower classes to be able to seek the opportunity that they really want. And Republicans are ready to work with the president to find policies that really elevate everybody, lift all boats.
The question about gas, Americans saving $600–700 a year because of lower gas prices. I mean, that was an important part of his speech as well. Do you think that when you look at the consumer in the United States and you look at the confidence level, does that benefit either party when we start talking about 2016?
I think oil prices are probably a very good thing for the American economy in general, and so that said, that will help the president. Whether or not he should be able to take any credit for it, it's set by a world price, and many things, the stronger dollar and world events have really created that situation. I think anything that keeps the economy going and keeps it strong is probably good for the president going forward, but it'll be an even playing field by the time we get to 2016, I would expect.
If you were his communication director, would you have changed anything about the speech?
For 6 years, I've been thinking the same thing. If the president would just reach out a little more to the other side, if he would just acknowledge that the other side has a point, if he would just give a little bit of a loaf, he would get a lot of goodwill back. There are very serious people in our party who want to do things with him. Paul Ryan is one of them. He said good things about the speech. He said good things about the president last night. I think you could get some real policies done that would be good for the American people if you were to do that.